2/3 of American drivers do not trust auto repair shops. That is not my opinion. That is a number straight from the American Automobile Association. 63% of the people handing over their car keys suspect they are being lied to. And, after what I am about to show you, you will understand exactly why. I have spent years inside this industry. I have watched mechanics look a customer dead in the eye and manufacture an emergency that does not exist. Urgent repairs that are not urgent, parts that were never replaced, labor hours that were never worked. Today, I am pulling back the curtain on 13 scams that shops use to drain your wallet using the word emergency. And mechanics are going to hate me for every single one of them. Stick around to the very end, because the last thing I share is one rule, just one, that makes you virtually scam-proof for life. Let's get into it. The urgent fluid flush. This is the gateway scam. The one they hit you with before you even suspect anything is wrong. You walk in for a routine oil change, and the technician comes out holding a vial of dark brownish fluid. He puts on the concerned face and says, "Your coolant looks terrible," or "Your transmission fluid is contaminated. We need to flush your entire system today, or you are looking at serious engine damage down the road." Sounds terrifying. And that is exactly the point. Here is the truth. Most vehicle fluids are engineered to last 50,000 to 100,000 miles. Your coolant, your transmission fluid, your brake fluid, they are not expiring every oil change. But shops routinely push flushes at 30,000 miles, sometimes even 20,000 miles, because a flush is fast, easy, and bills between $100 and $300 for about 15 minutes of actual work. The Car Care Council has flagged this as one of the most common unnecessary services in the industry. And that dirty sample they showed you? Ask yourself if you actually watched them pull it from your car, because some shops keep a vial of old contaminated fluid behind the counter specifically for this moment. Here is what you do. Ask for a test strip or a lab reading that proves your fluid has degraded. If they cannot produce one, you have your answer. And check your owner's manual. If the manufacturer says your fluid is good for another 20,000 miles, trust the engineers who built the car, not the person trying to sell you a service. The mystery check engine light. This little orange icon on your dashboard has generated more profit for dishonest shops than almost any other single thing in your car. And they know it, because most drivers see that light and immediately assume their engine is about to explode. A mechanic will plug in a scanner, read a code, and then translate it into the most expensive sounding diagnosis possible. Oxygen sensor failure. Catalytic converter degradation. Pre-ignition knock detected. The words are designed to make you feel stupid and scared at the same time. But here is what the EPA says. 10% of check engine lights are triggered by something as simple as a loose gas cap, not a cracked engine block. A gas cap that was not clicked tight enough at the pump. You can buy an OBD2 scanner for $20. I am not exaggerating. $20. Plug it into the port under your steering wheel, read the code, and Google it. Code P0455 means a loose or faulty gas cap. Tighten it or replace it for $15. Code P0171 means the system is running lean, which is often a dirty air filter or a small vacuum leak. Code P0420 means catalytic converter efficiency is below threshold, which sounds catastrophic, but is frequently just a worn oxygen sensor. The scanner pays for itself the first time you use it. And the mechanic loses his biggest leverage, your ignorance. The air filter swap. This one is almost artistic in how brazen it is. You are sitting in the waiting room, and the technician walks out holding a filter that looks like it was pulled from a coal mine. Caked in dirt, dead bugs, black residue. He says, "This is your air filter. It is completely clogged. We need to replace it right now." But here is the question nobody asks. Is that actually your filter? Some shops keep a filthy display filter behind the counter for exactly this performance. They show it to every customer regardless of what the actual filter looks like. The Car Care Council estimates 1 in 4 drivers get talked into replacing a filter that is nowhere near the end of its life. Most air filters last 15,000 to 30,000 miles. Unless you are driving unpaved desert roads daily, yours is probably fine. And here is the thing. Checking it takes 30 seconds. Pop the hood, open the airbox, look at the filter. If it is light gray with some dust, it is fine. If it is solid black and clogged, then yes, replace it. But buy one online for $10 to $15 and swap it yourself in under a minute. Pro tip. Before you hand your car over for any inspection, snap a photo of your air filter. If the one they show you does not match, you just caught them red-handed. The synthetic oil upsell. You bring your car in for a standard oil change, and the mechanic leans in with the recommendation voice. You know what? I would really suggest stepping up to synthetic this time. It is much better for your engine. Reduces wear. Keeps things running smoother. Sounds reasonable. Except Consumer Reports says 75% of cars on the road run perfectly fine on conventional oil. Synthetic oil costs roughly twice as much as conventional. And, for most daily drivers, sedans, SUVs, minivans, the performance difference is zero. Your engine will not run better. It will not last longer. You will just pay more. Synthetic is designed for high-performance engines, turbocharged vehicles, and extreme temperature conditions. If your owner's manual says 5W30 conventional, that is what your car was engineered to use. The mechanic is not upgrading your engine. He is upgrading his profit margin. Check your oil cap. Check your manual. If neither one says synthetic required, save your money. The brake pad panic. This is the scare tactic that works on almost everyone because brakes feel like life or death. And mechanics know that. They will tell you your pads are dangerously thin, down to 10%, could fail at any moment. And suddenly you are imagining your car rolling through an intersection with no way to stop. But here is what the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration actually says. Brake pads do not need replacing until they are worn to 3 millimeters. Most shops push replacement at 5 millimeters or higher, which means you could have thousands of miles of safe driving left. Ask to see the measurement. A legitimate mechanic will show you with a caliper. If they refuse or say just trust me, that is your signal to leave. And most modern cars have built-in wear indicators, little metal tabs that squeak when your pads are genuinely low. If your brakes are not squealing, you are probably fine. One customer told me a shop replaced his pads and rotors for $400. A second inspection revealed his pads were still at 4 millimeters. Completely safe. $400 gone for nothing. Always get a second opinion on brake work. A $50 inspection somewhere else could save you hundreds. The factory parts lie. This one preys on your fear of voiding the warranty. The dealer or mechanic says you need to use factory OEM parts. Aftermarket parts will void your warranty. They are lower quality. They will cause problems. Almost none of that is true. OEM parts, original equipment manufacturer, are made by the company that supplied your car maker. They are good parts. But dealers charge 2 to 3 times more for them simply because they carry the brand logo. An $80 aftermarket alternator becomes $200 as an OEM part. Same function, same lifespan, triple the price. The National Automotive Parts Association found that 89% of aftermarket parts perform identically to OEM equivalents at 30 to 50% less cost. And the warranty claim? The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act says a manufacturer cannot void your warranty just because you used aftermarket parts or an independent shop as long as the work meets their standards. That is federal law. Dealers who tell you otherwise are banking on the fact that you have never heard of that act. Always ask if there is a quality aftermarket option, and keep every receipt. If a dealer ever tries to deny a warranty claim because of where you got your oil changed, file a complaint with the FTC. They have shut this down before, and they will do it again. The $150 5-minute job. This scam survives entirely because most drivers do not realize how simple certain repairs actually are. A cabin air filter replacement is the perfect example. The mechanic charges $150 for it. Sounds like a real job, except here is what it actually involves. You open the glove box. You unclip a small panel. You pull out the old filter. You slide in the new one. You close the glove box. Done. Total time, maybe 2 minutes. The filter itself costs $10 to $20 online. The shop marks it up to $50, and then adds $100 in labor for a task that requires zero tools and zero expertise. Wiper blades are the same story. A 2-minute swap that shops charge $80 for. Search your car's make plus cabin air filter DIY on YouTube. You will find a tutorial showing every single step. Save the labor money for repairs that actually require a professional. The Phantom Repair. This one crosses the line from shady into outright fraud. You pay $600 for a timing belt replacement. You pay $400 for a transmission flush. You drive away feeling responsible and proactive about your car. Except the work was never done. The Federal Trade Commission estimates $2 billion is lost every year to auto repair fraud, and phantom repairs are a massive piece of that number. A friend of mine paid $600 for a timing belt replacement. Months later, a second mechanic opened the hood and found the original cracked belt still sitting there. Not a single thing had been touched. Protect yourself. Always ask to see the old parts they claim to have removed. No old parts. No proof the work happened. Request before and after photos. Any reputable shop will have no problem providing them. And read your invoice carefully. If you see vague language like adjusted components or performed system service instead of specific part names and actions, dispute the charge immediately. Your bank or credit card company will back you up. The warranty void threat. Dealerships love this one because it sounds so official. If you do not get your oil changed here, your warranty is void. If you use that independent shop down the street, we cannot honor your coverage anymore. That is a lie. And it is a lie that federal law specifically prohibits. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act makes it illegal for a manufacturer to void your warranty simply because you used an independent mechanic or non-OEM parts, as long as the work was performed properly. You can change your oil at any shop in the country using quality filters and fluids, and your powertrain warranty stays fully intact. Dealers say this because it keeps you locked into their service department, where they control the pricing. Keep your receipts, keep your maintenance records, and if a dealer denies a legitimate warranty claim based on where you got your car serviced, report them to the FTC. The fake product hustle. This one ranges from absurd to genuinely criminal, depending on how far the shop takes it. On the lighter end, you have got blinker fluid and muffler bearings. Those do not exist. They are old mechanic jokes. But some shops have actually charged customers for them, counting on the fact that most people are too embarrassed to admit. They do not know what a muffler bearing is. On the more common end, you have premium windshield washer fluid at $50 a gallon. It is the same fluid you can buy at any auto parts store for $4. You have fuel injector cleaner being pushed as a miracle fix when modern fuels already contain the same additives. You have headlight restoration being billed at $100 or more when a $10 kit from the auto store does an identical job. The rule is simple. If a product sounds too exotic or too urgent to verify on the spot, do not buy it. Research it first. And if anyone ever mentions blinker fluid with a straight face, walk out the door. The shock and strut shakedown. Here is how this one works. You bring your car in for something unrelated, and the mechanic comes back with a bonus diagnosis. Your shocks are shot. Your struts are worn out. You need a full replacement. How did they determine this? Usually by looking at your odometer. They see 60,000 or 70,000 miles, and they assume you will not question it. But shocks and struts do not fail on a mileage schedule. They wear based on driving conditions, potholes, rough roads, heavy loads. Some lost 50,000 miles. Some lost well over 100,000. Here is a free test you can do yourself right now. Walk to each corner of your car and press down hard on the body. If it bounces more than twice after you let go, the shocks or struts at that corner might need attention. If it settles immediately, they are fine. A full strut replacement runs over $1,000. That is a lot of money to spend on the word of someone who diagnosed the problem by glancing at your mileage. If your car rides smooth and handles well, do not let anyone tell you otherwise. The inflated labor bill. This scam hides in plain sight because most people never question how labor hours are calculated. Shops charge based on something called book time, a standardized estimate of how long a repair should take. But An experienced mechanic can often finish the job in half that time. You still pay the full book rate. For example, replacing an alternator might carry a book time of 2 hours. A skilled tech finishes it in 45 minutes. You get billed for 2 hours. That extra hour and 15 minutes is pure profit for the shop. Fight back by checking labor rates on sites like RepairPal before you approve any work. If the shop's quote is significantly higher than the fair market estimate, ask them to explain the difference. And always get a written estimate up front. If the final bill exceeds it, by more than 10%, you have legal grounds to dispute the charges. The free inspection trap. This is the one that catches even careful people, because it starts with the most disarming word in the English language. Free. A shop advertises a free multi-point inspection. You think, why not? It is free. You drive in. 30 minutes later, the technician emerges with a clipboard, and a long face, and a list of urgent repairs that total somewhere between $800 and $2,000. Your serpentine belt is cracking. Your suspension is compromised. Your brake lines are showing corrosion. The AAA found that 22% of free inspections lead to unnecessary repairs, nearly 1 in 4. The inspection is not free. It is a sales funnel disguised as a favor. Here is how to handle it. Never approve repairs on the spot. Say thank you. I will think about it. Take the list to a second shop. A trustworthy mechanic will confirm what is real and what was invented to fill a slow Tuesday afternoon. And never fall for the limited time pricing pressure. If they say this price is only good today, that is a sales tactic, not a mechanical reality. Your serpentine belt is not going to know what day of the week it is. Now here is the one rule I promised you at the beginning. The single habit that makes you nearly impossible to scam. Always get a second opinion. Every single time. No exceptions. If a mechanic says you need a repair, ask for proof. Photos of the damage. The old parts they removed. A written diagnosis with specific part names and measurements. Then take that information to one more shop and see if they agree. Dishonest mechanics survive because their customers make decisions based on fear, urgency, and trust in a stranger wearing a name tag. The moment you slow down, ask questions, and verify the diagnosis somewhere else, the entire scam falls apart. Check reviews on BBB and Google before choosing a shop. Look for patterns and complaints. Shops with shady tactics crumble under accountability. That is all 13. If this saved you even one unnecessary repair bill, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss what we put out next. Share this with someone who just got a suspiciously expensive quote. They need to see this before they approve it. I will see you in the next one.